Well, hello, my beautiful people. This is Christine, your DIY craftaholic. I'm bringing you another thrift flip video. More on that in a little bit. So let's jump right in. So this is a set. I think these are wall hanging shelves. I picked these up at my local thrift store, $1 each. So I'm sanding it down. And guys, when I was sanding this off, my intention was to paint them in a different color. But then I remembered that I had a napkin with the same background. And here it is. Of course, you know your girl. Napkin decoupage this is going to be. So after I sanded it down, and here I open the napkin and you see how closely associated and related these two are. I wasn't going to mess up that relationship. No way. So I sanded it down, dusted them off, got my Mod Podge out, and I'm using a piece of sponge to apply the Mod Podge. And you saw that I separated the second ply from the napkin. You do want to make sure that you do that, or your project is just not going to be what you intended for it to be. Let's just put it that way. All right, so after I place that down, I'm taking the parchment paper, and this process, I've done so much of this on my channel. I will link a video at the top so you can see. If this is your first time here, welcome, by the way. If this is your first time seeing this process, I will link that video so you can check it out. But what it really is, applying Mod Podge and letting that sit for a little bit or until it becomes tacky, and then you put your napkin down and you apply the heat method to reactivate it. Place a piece of parchment paper on top of it, and then you use some heat, whether it's your little heat press, or if you don't have a heat press, then you can use an iron. Just make sure that it doesn't have any steam. And I'm using this one sheet of napkin. I got these napkins from Temu and I used them a lot last summer, and now I'm coming around again to use this one. And when you're laying down your napkin, you want to make sure that you're smoothing it out with your hand to ensure that there are no bubbles that's captured underneath. So after I covered the sides, I just took the sponge and just went over the ends and the corners to make sure that those parts were laying down. And then I also did the same thing for the top, or for the border of the shelf. Fold over the napkin and then just use the sponge to tap that in place. And after that, I cut off the excess and then applied some more heat with the parchment paper and my heat gun or the heat press. You can use either if you have both. It doesn't really matter, just as long as you apply some heat. That is running. Let me just talk a little bit about this playlist. This is Thrift Flip Road Trip, my first time on this open challenge, and this is hosted by Unicorn Dust Designs and the Crafting Cousins. And our guest host is Crafting with Indie Annie Jones. I'm so excited to be joining these ladies for this playlist. I can't wait to see what everybody has thrifted and flipped. But I will leave the links for their channels in my description box as usual, along with the link for the playlist. After completing the big one, I went on to do the second one. And golly, Miss Molly, wow, these are beautiful. Guys, let me know what you think about these. Here I am just adding on an extra layer of Mod Podge, and that is to seal the napkin in. And then I use some heat to just dry that and make it officially. And guys, this is all I am going to be doing with these. Well, actually, no. I found some pearl stickers in my stash and just added those on each corner of both pieces, and that makes it look a little bit shabby chicish. And that's it, guys. That's all I am going to do with these. Love them already. All right, let's jump into our second thrift flip find. I got this from the Goodwill store, and this was $3.99 at the time I picked it up. So here I'm just removing the tag, and this was a little bit challenging to remove the tag, because after I lifted that piece I realized that there was another tag underneath, and that one was a little challenging to remove. But while I was removing the tag, I was thinking to myself, what exactly do I want to do with this? Because the wood is already pretty, and I just felt that I would be hurting it if I did too much to it. So I was thinking, what am I going to do? So I decided, and here I'm just cleaning off the goo with some Goo Gone, and then wiping it down with a baby wipe. This is the second time I'm wiping it, but I'm wiping it down again properly, because you want to make sure that you do that too. So after it dried, I thought to myself, okay, I now have an idea. So now here I am just separating the space on the surface, and I'm using the painter's tape, and the distance between the tape and the bottom was 3 inches, and I just wrapped the tape right around. So I took some Waverly chalk paint in ivory, and I'm watering that, or using my sponge. The sponge was already damp. So I'm going to make some strokes, just going from the top to the bottom, not a heavy coating, just lightly, because I still want to see some of that brown peeking through the paint. I didn't want to give it too much paint. So this is like a sponge distressing, not painting. So I went right around not even sure if this is a vase. It looks like a vase. It looks like a spoon, something you'd keep in your kitchen to put spoons in. I'm not sure what I'm going to be using this for, but we'll see. Let me know in the comments below what you think I should use this for. So I went all the way around and then dried it with the heat gun. And after it dried, I removed the tape. I love this part. And there is a natural wood peeking through. So these are some rub-on transfers from Dollar Tree. So I'm going to use it. I don't want to use that word that says wish. I'm just going to cut out some of the sections on here and rub those on in different places. And for this transfer, you have to rub a little harder than you would for the regular transfer. This takes a little bit more elbow grease than the usual transfers. If you are new to my channel or coming over from the playlist, welcome. I'm so happy you joined me today. Here on my channel, I do DIYs on a budget, dupes, look for less, and thrift flips. If you love budget-friendly DIYs like these and you have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing and be sure to hit that notification bell. Hit it again and select all so YouTube notifies you whenever I upload new videos. And this is what it looks like after I was done transferring everything. And to seal everything, I took some Mod Podge on the same sponge and just dabbed that on all across the surface, both the top and the bottom. I still think it needed something else, and I was trying to figure out, okay, what else am I going to do to this to just embellish it and make it pop? And then I thought of using the black pen, paint pen, and just to highlight the lines where the natural part of the wood connect with the paint. I just drew a line on top of that, and I believe that was what it was waiting for. That made it pop. And there I made a mistake. I just used the baby wipe and just wiped that off. I also thought of adding something else in that space, like a word or some additional graphics, but then I changed my mind and just decided to leave it as is. But of course, in order for the vase to stand elevated from the surface, I took some half beads and glued those on as is. And now this little vase, yes, I'm gonna call it a vase. Let me know what you think I should call this. And now this is complete. So a reminder to check out the host channels and the playlist. And now we're jumping into our third thrift flip. So I picked up this picture frame among others from my thrift store way back when. and I'm going to be using that one in this video. And this was 50 cents. So I removed the tag, wiped it down real good with a baby wipe, removed the back, the inserts and the glass, and wipe down again, and then place those aside. And this is a quick one, guys, so stick around, don't move. Hold up, DJ. At the time of recording this video, 2,617 of you are on this journey with me. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. We are on our way to the 3,000 mark. Help me get there by April 30 in time for a giveaway. So if you love my content and you haven't yet subscribed, what are you waiting for? It's free. Let's continue with the rest of the video. So next I took this Waverly chalk paint in crystal and the same damp sponge, and I'm applying a very thin coat, not too heavy, making sure not to go over the section that I already painted. I waited for it to dry a little bit and then I went over with another light coat. And then I took the heat gun and dried that. And now that it's all dried, here is another napkin that I got from Temu, along with that same insert that came from the inside. This one has a little butterfly on it. I am going to decoupage, but I'm using a different technique. So I just took a paintbrush with some water and I'm using that to separate the section of the napkin that I want to use. And after I got that all damped, I'm going to just tear that off. And I'm also removing our little butterfly because I'm going to be using that. And to get it down a little bit smaller, I had to take off another piece. So I went again with my water and brush. And now I'm ready to just place them down on my paper. So this technique that I'll be doing, I'll be using the Saran wrap. I saw someone on Pinterest do this. I also did it in a previous DIY. I will link that one at the top so you can see how I did that. So I tore off a piece of Saran wrap, applied some Mod Podge to the surface that I needed to place the wrap on, and then just place that down. Applied a little bit more Mod Podge on top of that. And then put the napkin down. You want to make sure that you remove the outer ply. And I'm doing it to one side. Then I did the same thing for the little butterfly. And then I'm going to take the other end of the Saran wrap and fold that over on top of the napkin. And here I went in with the parchment paper and heat, and that is just helping to lock everything in. And I waited for it to cool a little bit and then pull off the parchment paper. And wherever it did not get to adhere properly, I went back over that section. And here it's all done. I love this method. So next I took the scissors and I just trimmed off the pieces that were hanging off on the edge. And our decoupage on paper is done. Love it, guys. Let me know what you think about this technique. In the video that I mentioned earlier, I did that on wood. So now I'm ready to add some Mod Podge to the frame. So I took the same sponge. Of course, I washed it out and it's now clean. And just use that to apply the Mod Podge to seal. And now I'm ready to insert. So I replace the glass, and then the insert, and then that little piece of cardboard that was on top, and then the backing. And here it is, all done. But of course, I thought it needed something else. So I took the gold marker from Crafter's Square and just went around the border. And this is just for decorative purposes. And here it is. Now let's jump into our final reveal. Now at the end of camera, I added a little burlap bow and a little wooden butterfly that I got in a pack from Temu. Guys, let me know what you think about this. And here is the larger piece of our decoupaged wall shelf. And this is both of them together. I love this piece, to be honest with you. This one is my favorite, but that is just me. Let me know which one of these 3 projects was your favorite today. And here is our little vase. I added a bouquet of peonies in there. That's not going to be the purpose, but I just added it for the purpose of this video. But let me know in the comments below what you think I should use this for. And if you would like to follow me on social media, you can scan that QR code and that will take you directly to my Linktree address, where you will find all the links to reach me at. Also, don't forget to check out Sammy's channel, Kay and Trish's channel, as well as Annie's channel. I will leave those links in my description box below, as well as the playlist, and let them know I sent you. Don't forget to like, share, and comment down below. And if you have not yet subscribed, please do so before you leave. And for more budget-friendly content like this one, I suggest this video right here or this playlist. And I will catch you in my next one. And stay to the end for bloopers of these 3 flip thrift makeovers today.